Just get back to my computer. Okay, almost ready. All right, so let's take a look at the news and what has been happening since we logged off yesterday. We had 1:15 a.m. We had a FOMC speaker in Mumbai. The money supply at 4 a.m. MPC 15 doesn't look like any big movements in the market. And then we just have crude oil inventories today, so not much. This is, mainly impacts the oil. So is a low to no news day. I would consider this, it was like that on Monday. Tuesday we at least had something at 10, and today pretty much nothing. So probably not going to be the most exciting day if I had to guess. Just a reminder, I put this account tracker and I've automated it. So when I end the day, what I do is, and maybe it'll help some people out there. You have multi-charts, and I have a license with multi-charts, the .NET version. You can log into as many rhythmic brokers as you want at once. And so what I have a Python script that starts multi-charts, it logs into all my accounts, and then it exports everything as an Excel file. And then I have a VBA script in Excel that just formats everything, and then I just copy and paste that into another workbook that has all of this information, and that information feeds directly into here. So whenever I update that, this updates automatically. And so that's my goal moving forward. We see yesterday, 5610 after missions, mostly zeros. So you can filter down here if you just want to see certain days. If you just wanted to see yesterday, you do that. You just see yesterday, or if you wanted to just you can filter it, is the point. I'll build this out a little more once we get a little bit more information. Also, I'll start putting blown accounts here. If we get to a payout situation, I'll also start tracking payouts. And then I'm also putting in any YouTube links down here. And we'll see what happens. This will probably change around until I figure out how I want to do it, how I want to manage it. But take a look at what is happening in the market. So yesterday, all right, so after it started buying up, we got off somewhere in one of these two bars. I don't remember. It kept going up, then went sideways pretty much. We've been kind of going sideways for, in a pretty big range. So like from the bottom up here, if I had to draw a line to the bottom up or the top up here, a big range, and that's between, what is that, between just below 700 and here, above 500. So we're staying above 500, which is way down here, which is good. I don't like trading around 500. Doesn't mean we won't go there today. Let's take a look at some of the other markets or the other charts. We are mixed on the 3-minute chart. The ES is up on the 3-minute and the NQ is down. There's a at 19,687. There could be a long if we buy up when the market opens on the NQ. Their charts generally are also mixed. We have some NQ charts that are down. And we also have ES charts that are up. These are both down. So this NQ is up, this NQ is down. I don't necessarily like this trade at 56.50. See, where would that be at about? May not be terrible. Let's look at the rest of the charts forward style. Clouds are mixed. Left-hand charts, clouds are up. Right-hand charts, clouds are up. You can see the sideways better on this bottom right-hand chart on the Renko. Completely sideways. We're still in that range. So we may get a breakout of that range at some point today. This long-term chart, we are all red right now, but you can see the 40 range is kind of getting mixed up. We look at this, both of these are down. Interested to see yesterday where there would have potentially been a trade. Just there was potentially one. I feel like we didn't. Did we call that out yesterday? No, we didn't. That may not have been actually. Yeah, so I take that back. That may not have been because it was not. I don't think actually because the left-hand chart closed down at 37.27 and the right-hand chart. No, it would have. You just so the left-hand chart closed down around 37.27, and this one closed. The right one should close at 37.35. Probably would have missed that. Maybe not even wanting to trade it just because of what the market was doing as well. And then looking at the up, probably not. Not. This could have been here, right along here, and the entries would have been entry there, there, there. So it would have been a stressful trade. Not a very good one, especially I think was this near the quadruple tops? Yeah, this is like the quadruple top. Might be opening in 5 seconds. Let's see here. If this closing up, potentially. Yes, it is technically up. See what happens. We don't like when it does that. It didn't put my next entry down. It's going to get confusing to manage if this comes down and takes this. I think I figured out what's happening. There's a race condition happening that's messing things up, so I have to just adjust for that. On that weird range. This is where it gets weird because it didn't and that's not what we forgot. We changed this to probably, yeah. If this closes up, we'll be close to break even or just below. I need to fix that. So that's a what's happening with Rhythmic is there's no guaranteed order in that things are 40 when like on order update, on execution update, on position update, there's no guarantee of when those occur. And so what happens is they can happen out of order. And if they happen out of order, my logic doesn't get updated for where my targets and my other orders get sent. And so that's what's happening there. In 15. Ooh, the other charts are down here. Doesn't look great. Hopefully get some chop up, but this is on the FTT account, so the FTT takes a little bit more aggressive trades. B2-ish. Like that, it's turning down. Take a look what's happening out here. You can still see everything on my other screen. It's just looking at this screen here. It lets me look at the ES as well. I don't know what this does here. We may have to completely disqualify that setup from everything. But we'll see. We get below 96. I think this thing has some downwards movement on it. Right around this balance area. I typically don't like trading around those, but again, today is pretty much a no news day. So I expect a pretty ranging market, terrible market to trade. But we'll see what happens here. Going sideways. Maybe going back down. See. Still hanging around that 600 level in NQ. It looks like the NQ is trying to pull the ES down today. I do have automated systems, but I tend to like the ones where I can turn things on or off. That way, if I see something in the market I don't really like, I don't have to trade it. And a lot of times, the fully automated has a little bit higher drawdown than what I like for some of the challenge accounts. And so you can get in trouble with some of the automated strategies like that. I've been testing one, the Hawk. It hasn't done anything today. Just from a vendor. About 3.5 minutes, we'll know if we have another potential setup on the precision account. I guess it's starting to finally turn down a little bit. See the shorter time frame super trend change. But it's still just a lot of chop. We kind of expected that today. haven't watched the NVIDIA news. Try not to pay attention too much to what's happening in the news because the news is so manipulated, especially if you look at VPA or VSA, there's a whole thing around news manipulation. This is from, so the hawk is, did a back test on it. It's this guy right here. You have to look at the, so I did a back test on, if you look at high one tick data, it initially back tests bad, right? But if you look at it, a lot of the losing trades happened after 2 p.m. and I wouldn't trade past that. So if you take those out, this is what it looks like. Right, one loser here or two losers. And if you look at those further on 3-7, there's also other rules, right, to when not to trade. One of the normal ones that most people look at is not trading around high impact news events. And so 3-7 traded around a high impact news event, so you can kind of disqualify that one. And 3-8, if you look at that one, which if you also do playback, it didn't take this one according to the owner. So this was the loss on 3-8. If you look at it a little further, if you overlay like the 1 minute, I overlay the 1 minute, this blue line. The other thing you have to know with this spot is that a lot of times it'll go to the profit target very quickly. And if it doesn't, like this scenario, so the entry was right here, and then it came down and then went back up. You're experiencing that kind of drawdown with this spot. It's probably an indication that you need to get out. And so you'll probably want to move your profit target. So you could get out here or here, and I put the high price on those so you could see that you could get out. Here's the entry price over here, 96.25. So those were the two losing days. So if you take that in consideration, it had no losing days. And then it was originally created for the NQ, but I did a back test on the ES just to see how it worked. And the 10T bar, which you see right here, the 10T bar is a pretty big bar on the ES, and this is what it looked like since January 1st of 23. Looks like it may have just canceled an order over here on the Hawk. I just heard it on my headphones. Yep, it's only for NinjaTrader. He hasn't converted it into any other software. I think there's stuff out there that you can take. It may be Replicano, I forget too, but you can copy from NinjaTrader to TradingView if you have a certain account or something like that. There's other services where there may be some connectors. And then I think there's also some ways where if you send signals to like Discord or Telegram, it can copy the trade into other programs. I don't know much about it, but I think there's ways to not necessarily have to be fully dependent upon it, but you'll still be dependent upon it to an extent because you would have to run the strategy on Trader. Well, sideways, at least on the ES. The NQ's gone down, but the ES has just been sideways. Generally don't like that. See here the 3-minute on the ES and the NQ compared. Very odd behavior, right? ES really isn't moving, it's kind of gone sideways. The NQ is really sold off. Not a great market to trade. NQ might be coming back. See. If it comes back up to 632.25, I might look for a long there. Just switched the account on that one. Had it on the wrong sim account, the Hulk. So I'm forward testing that one to see how it does, at least in sim. I'll forward test it maybe a couple weeks, and then I have, and I kind of want to test this. I have 10 Lilu accounts that I passed a long time ago, and they sent out an email and said, "Hey, you don't have to activate these right now," and so I didn't. You can activate them whenever, and I want to test that theory of how long you can wait to activate it. So I might activate a couple of those. I think they're 25K accounts, which would work. And on Lilu, you can copy for a total of 3 accounts. So you can copy one account to 2 others. I can activate 3 of them and run the Hawk on it and see how it does. Or I could do 1. But I kind of want to see if that was a while ago. That was a really long time ago that I got those 10. To see if they would allow me to activate those after so much time has passed. Literally May. In May. They didn't put a time frame on when you had to activate it by. So it would be very, very interesting. a call there. Let's see here. Yeah, the prop trading firms is an interesting concept because the way a lot of them are set up is they've gone extremely low discount, and so they need an constant influx of people, it feels like, to be able to pay all their payouts. And so if they don't get that constant influx of people, if they didn't have enough starting capital, they're going to go bankrupt, most likely. And the industry's really gone discount. You know, there's at least on NinjaTrader or with Rhythmic, there's 5 that I would say are discount, at least 5 that are discount, where you can get pretty consistently a 90% discount, which can be good because it's starting to push people to give, or prop firms to give people the option of going straight to funding, which is a little bit different. And so hopefully with the competition, it's going to make them innovate a little bit more. Because especially with the discount ones, like if you look at some of the higher accounts where it's like the 300K accounts, you have a drawdown of 7,500 but a profit target of 20,000, which is more than 2 to 1, which I get because it has more capital. But you go with a 50K account, it's almost 1 to 1. Normally it's 2,500 drawdown and 3,000 profit target. The 25K is normally 1 to 1, 1250 to 1250. So hopefully we also see some pressure on those to make them a little bit more 1 to 1 and or going direct to funding cheaper, because my guess is that even prop firms that say they have a 1-step process, it's really 2 steps in that to trade with real money. The first step, passing the evaluation, yes, is 1 step to get to payouts, but that second step is getting to that buffer amount that you normally have to. So on a 50K account, normally you have to get to 2,600, then the trailing drawdown stops, you know, at your balance plus $100, and then you need to get the minimum withdrawal on top of that, which is normally either $500 or $1,000. So you need to get to $3,100 or $3,600 in profit before you can withdraw. So you need to go, let's say, 3,600 plus your original profit target of 3,000 during the evaluation. So you need to make 6,600 before you can get to a first withdrawal. So it's kind of a 2-step process because a lot of people don't make it through that other gate of getting to the buffer plus the withdrawal amount. And that's why I think the straight to funding is going to be probably more popular as time goes on, and certain firms who offer direct funding now get more popular, is because people will pay for that, and I think that'll get cheaper as well. And I think probably what they're finding is that a lot of people can't even get past that first gate. So like FTT, you have to have it's 5% to get to your first withdrawal. So on a 50K account, that'd be 2,500 plus whatever you're going to withdraw. Which, you know, most likely the vast majority of people don't even make it to that. So it's it's an interesting area. Hopefully with so many prop firms out there now, though, it just gets better and better for traders as time goes on. This market is really not good. So if this keeps up, I'm just going to shut it down. ES and NQ are still pretty much diverged. The NQ still down, is going sideways. The ES is just going sideways now. Not a great trade day. see the NQ just sold straight off, and the ES top right just went straight sideways. All right, there's still nothing going on, so I'm not gonna keep sitting in front of the screen while nothing is happening. So we're gonna call it there for the day. Hope everybody had a great trading day, and probably be back on Friday.